Okay, we're cleaned up. We're ready to go. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About Lego, with your host Jason, as well as well, we're hosts together. It's me and Andrew here tonight. Andrew with Brick Monarch, brickmonarchshop.com, and Jason with the Brick Stop. And you can check us out on our respective social media pages. And thank you for joining us tonight for a kind of an interesting theme. It's going to be a good talk, so we're looking forward to it. How you doing tonight, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Right on, right on.
Good to see who jumps in to watch this live.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's not only is it not a popular castle theme, I don't think a lot of people really remember it existed because it got overshadowed by an even worse castle theme like the next year. So,
Yeah.
or a year later than this, or I don't know. It might have been 2 years, but so most people remember Knight's Kingdom as Knight's Kingdom 2, the Jelly Bean era.
If you look up Knight's Kingdom on Google, the
Yeah.
jelly beans come up.
Yeah, because I mean, there's like almost there's like 35, 40 sets. It was waves upon waves. They went for like 5 or 6 years of the Knights Kingdom 2 stuff. So it's
Junk.
gonna outshadow this big time.
Junk.
Not great. The final wave had a couple decent looking designs, but that's because they got far enough in it that they started other things in the company were changing and designs were getting better by the end of Knights Kingdom 2, right? So it wasn't because Knights Kingdom 2 was getting better, it was that everything was kind of coming out of that dark age. So
my opinion on this,
yeah.
I mean, I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, same as the Ninja Lego Cat, the
Overall,
Ninja stuff we did last year.
However, it at least had some of the classic castle features in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, the crown, the sword, the shields, the long shields. I'm not real fond of the bull.
Right, I remember you saying that. Yeah,
I don't like that mascot at all. That sigil.
Okay. Yeah.
We're a little clunky.
Definitely a little clunky. It suffers heavily from Fright Night syndrome.
And then also, there was a lot more grays in the minifigs.
Yeah,
Not the bright minifigs.
Yeah, they changed it up. They toned it down a lot. Yeah.
That was in 2004 when they did the color change, and this was prior to the color change. So they were very dull, especially the bulls, and then the knights on the lion side were very bleak.
Yeah, it's
They weren't vibrant and colorful like our classic castle. So I don't know. It just doesn't hit right 100%, but at least it carries some of those features.
I agree with most of that for sure. I don't hate the bulls as a faction. Especially because it's heavily historical. But other than that, and I mean, that's fine. There's a lot of dumb historical factions, right? There's like pigeons and random stuff people put on shields all the time. So that's not necessarily a reason to love it. But I agree with you. Bleak is a perfect description for this. It kind of feels like they almost recovered a little after the decimation of the Fright Nights, right? And this is what they built back, and it's stone, it's cold, it's got some elements like you said, but we're coming off of the Dark Forest, the Royal Knights. The colors in those are beautiful. They're vibrant reds and like whites, and you get really a blues, and so yeah, coming into this, you're like, oh, this is it's almost like post-apocalyptic castle. Like
and the sad thing is they gave it they gave the king a name, King Leo, right?
Yeah.
And basically he looks like one of the Jedi from 99.
He would make a good Jedi.
Star Wars stuff, okay? Thirdly, they literally ripped the lion from Royal Knights.
Yeah, same exact design. Yeah, but they changed the field on it and looks.
And then on top of that, the bulls have projectiles.
Yeah,
that aren't
cannon stuff.
Yeah. Not like classic castle.
Right.
They didn't have projectiles like that.
Right. So. And you may wonder, people listening perhaps would wonder why we didn't necessarily have some of the critique with the Fright Nights, considering they have like wind ships and like all kinds of goofy stuff. we put the Fright Nights in solidly in a fantasy, like looking at it as a fantasy theme. I think
Yeah,
most of us do,
yeah.
and
You gotta open up your mind to the fantasy element of that when you get to the Fright Nights.
but this one is a little bit more supposed to be based more on the classic European castle lines, and so this spring-loaded cannons and things, it's them definitely shoehorning in their tech they were adding into other themes, and they're like, look, let's put it in Castle 2.
Yeah,
You could maybe look at this as late medieval, where they had the large lumbering like wrought iron cannons and things that they were starting to use the gunpowder in, but it doesn't quite look like that. It looks more classic in the design, so it doesn't quite land correctly. Real quick before we jump too far into our critique of this theme, let's drop Retro Space Codes dropped a donation. Let's pull that up and read that real quick, and then we can say hey to the chat and then get off on the talk. So I was Dark Ages for this, but I got a bunch of the King Leo torsos and legs with blue helmets and visors for blue Royal Knights in my army. Nice. So your army build with that. Yeah, for some reason that torso is really easy to get a hold of, or it was. It was in everything. So he was in a lot of cheap sets. Appreciate the donation, my friend. Donations are turned on. Super chats, whatever you want to call them. You can drop those if you want. You can subscribe to the channel. We are like eight subscribers away from 1,000, guys. Like, we're right there. So if you're watching this, you enjoyed at least. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're close. So even if you enjoyed just 2-3 minutes of it, drop a follow on the on YouTube and give us that 1,000, which is our goal for the summer. We were hoping to hit it, and I think we will. We're really excited for that. So thank
yeah.
you guys.
I just had a thought. Also, we are. This is going to be new information to you, Jason, and to everyone listening. Once a month, we're going to pick a theme that we're essentially just going to shit all over it.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Forbidden themes.
you see that as this is kind of a rough draft of that because it's not
You
my
don't like
favorite.
it?
It's not my favorite. It's like one of the last castles, that I would want to talk about.
Sure.
It does have some positives, but
I think it's got.
I'm not scrambling to go collect these sets.
I get that. Yeah. I honestly though, I mean, if you look at some of the other castle themes that came out, I mean, I don't know. This one still has just a little bit of a classic touch underlying it, and so I consider it still part of that. From Yellow Castle's a little far back, but say you go from Yellow Castle to Knight's Kingdom 1, you have a bit of consistency throughout everything that's produced through that time. And it's only after this died and the Knight's Kingdom 2 happened that it's like a complete like completely different. There's nothing recognizable in Knight's Kingdom 2 that you could connect back to this really at all.
No.
Yes, they have a shield with a lion on it, maybe, but it's not the same. Like it's not at all the same. It's very different. So, what was that?
It's trash.
Yeah, trash. Yeah, that's a good one. So, or a good word for that one. I still enjoy this. My grandma got me one of these sets when I was younger for my birthday. And I can talk about that a little bit. But
I had all of them.
You had all of these ones.
Yeah, I did.
So you were still inclined, even when you were collecting, to still pick these up as part of your collection.
Yeah.
But I assume, as with me, when you got a hold of these, you wanted to love it because it was Castle.
I did. I wanted to love it.
It's like
I couldn't.
It was hard. There were parts I loved, and I held on to those, and the rest it just didn't, like you said earlier, it didn't hit right. So. Yeah, we'll get into it. But yeah, let's say hey to everybody.
Yeah,
there's lots of comments dropping
here. I just want to welcome everybody in here. Don Enlisted, Minifig Collector, Brickativity, Chorange, Mirko, Spacer Nate, Ardo.
Welcome.
General Trons, Bricks, James Westman, welcome. Alternate candidate. Let's see who else. Jose's in here.
Yep. Yeah, we got him.
New commenter. I don't think that they've commented before. Welcome, Dalton Mays. Sorry, I may have messed up your name. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Dave Bricks.
Travertine Pico. Filler Tex was here, of course.
Good old filler check. Yeah, Lorem Ipsum.
Henry the Horse. And Dave Brick 76.
Let's read his real quick. What's he saying? Hey guys from Perth, Australia. Australia. Been a sub for a while. First time commenting. Learning a lot from your channel. I've just come out for 35 years, Dark Ages. It's been over a year now being in the community. Well, welcome back to the community. And thanks for commenting. We appreciate that, man.
So where does that put you at then, Dave Bricks 76? Are you 76?
Oh.
Is that where 76 is from? Or are you born in 76?
35-year Dark Age is a long.
Where are we at?
That's a long Dark Age. Yeah, that's fair. 48. Okay, yeah. So you were just into it as a kid, pretty much, and then out. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Welcome back, man. There's a lot to love going on in the community.
I'm 33. So we're not far off.
And I'm 36. So
I was still wearing a diaper when the Yellow Castle came out. Maybe you weren't.
Yeah, no, I missed that. I missed that. I didn't also get into it. So he was leaving when he was, what he said, 48. So yeah, 35-year-old. Yeah. So, I mean, I was getting into it when I was 10 and 11, so I was a little later when some kids were maybe getting into it 5 and 6. I was getting into it. I was really introduced fully to Lego when I was in my, 10, 11, 12 years. So, 42, Jose. Yeah, we're all kind of, this is good company. We're all in good company here in the comments. Appreciate you guys here. And thanks for dropping a comment and being part of our community as well as the Lego community as a whole. So we definitely appreciate that.
Nice.
Well, cool, man.
Let's jump into these sets here.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. See what they were doing is this 2000 drop?
Yeah, 2000. Year 2000.
So they took a break for what we covered last week, was the Ninja Castles themes, and then this jumped after it. So, yeah. So we didn't have Castle for a year or so, and then they show up again with this here, and this is what we got.
So I mean, just at a quick glance, these are not bad.
These have reminiscent of some of the Black Knights.
The Dragon Masters.
Yeah, Dragon Masters. Well, and even the little cart with that shield at an angle up on top. Yeah, that reminds me of a Black Knight set. Or no, maybe you're right. Dragon Master. Sorry, my bad. It's been so long since we talked about the Black Knights and the Dragon Masters. Dang it. I want to get back to those guys. Anyway.
So these are really really not that bad. They've got that classic Lego feel. They're aggressive. They're dark. I like the minifigs, the 2 bull minifigs here that come. I'm not happy that they've taken over the Dragon Master helmet.
Sure.
I like that helmet.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that I like them taking it over.
Yeah. So this is still, I do in a weird kind of reverse of that sentiment. I do like them using the things that they used to do, in the sense that they would, adopt parts from other themes to build a new faction, right? So like, but the fact that is such a unique helmet does make sense. To what you're saying is it's kind of a little too unique maybe for them to have adapted it. Yeah, I get that. I do like that they're kind of bringing some parts though, and one thing that is nice is that the fact that so many of those Dragon Master helmets came out in this theme. It was like a restock on the inventory, so we get them for a little cheaper probably than if they had only showed up on Dragon Masters. So that's a plus to it. But yeah, these are fine. These are great. I don't need any of these.
Comment here really quick. Let's welcome this fellow here, Nerf Herder. He says, first time comment here, been following since June when I found the Nautica episode.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's great.
Super random one to find us on.
That's right there. Knights Kingdom 1 was probably my first exposure to Castle through Lego Island 2 when I was 4.
Yeah.
Do you have any of the new releases? I'm curious.
Like some
Like
of the
the
Newcastle stuff.
Disco's GWP, the Forestman GWP, the Medieval Market, the Lion Castle, any of those? Because over here we
Yeah,
got all the castles. We have all
yeah.
the
It's
castles over here.
This is this is what we do over here. Yeah, so let us know if you have any of the new stuff, if you've experienced that. That's funny you mentioned that. I played Lego Island 2 pretty religiously, and yeah, the Knights Kingdom. There was a whole island devoted to this theme that you could explore and joust with knights on, and like it was actually pretty cool game for the time. So that would be a fun experience, but it wasn't quite the same as these sets, right? They went off and did kind of their own thing a little bit. So that's a fun reference, and it is like what? How many people watched our Nautica show? Like five,
Yeah, live.
eight.
Yeah.
It's good to have him come on that one. That's pretty great. Nerf
Um,
herd.
something that I do want to mention here about this, and you guys can kind of follow along as we move through these sets.
Yeah.
So the terrain in the box art and instruction art is very different. Okay, it has the
Mm,
sky from the Dragon Master era,
yeah.
and then it has the woods from more like the Dark Forest era, which is
Yes.
it's an interesting combo. It kind of gives you a neutral world, as if you're looking off in the distance, and then those mountains is where the Dragon Masters were off in the distance over there under the same sky.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense with the lore.
That's me picking it to death and just taking every aspect of it in and kind of mulling it around in the past, and kind of
Sure.
mixing back and forth.
No, I get it. Yeah, for sure. There's a reason probably why that dark forest is there. Because these bull guys, we'll get into it a little bit later, but the bulls come from the dark forest, and that might even be why this little guy down in the bottom left has the fringe and kind of almost a not a forestman, maybe a wolf pack, but he's got kind of that fringed collar and looks a little bit like a wolf pack or a forestman character. Because these guys are outlaws. They're not obviously. I mean, they're more knightly. They have it seems like they have some lineage that's got knights in it, but
Mm-hmm.
they are considered outlaws in the lore. It's an army of outlaws. It's not like a small group. So, and they hail from the dark forest according to lore. So
I still
makes
believe
sense.
I still believe that the wolf pack could probably take these guys out, and there was less of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we had that convo. These guys have the machines and maybe the gear, but the Wolfpack have the terrain, the knowledge, and the cunning to take these guys down. Someone
I,
said Greek fire. Dawn, I think Dawn Enlisted was like Greek fire, maybe. Said they still don't know what that was made of. Greek fire. They still haven't figured it out.
I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. During the wars in Greece, somebody came up. I can't remember who developed it, but they developed a form of napalm way back then. That was like they would throw it in canisters like grenades, pots, and they would lob them at ships, and it would burn so devastatingly that it would light the surface of the water on fire as well, like an oil fire.
Oh, we saw that in
Um,
Game of Thrones.
yeah, exactly. Very similar. That they stole the concept. I don't remember what they called it in Game of Thrones, but
I
it's
can't
similar
remember either.
stuff. Yes, good reference. It's the same idea, and they've been trying to reverse engineer this stuff for a long time, and no one's really figured out what the heck Greek fire was, but it was deadly, that's for sure.
So here's another two sets. You got four sets in here that if you get all four of these little tiny square sets, you
Yeah,
get the chrome sword, you get the chrome armor, you get the chrome helmet,
yeah.
and then you get the chrome shield.
These ones were a lot harder to get a hold of. You could buy them from the catalog, but I didn't see them often on shelves, except for in like kind of random, maybe Toys R Us or a weird one-off here and there. Um, These are great. This is the kind of stuff that I love to see in Castle. Sure, the builds aren't anything to talk about, but the minifigs are cool. I like them. And the fact you get the sword, the armor, and then the two more I assume you'll show later with the shield and the helmet, which are really valuable to get a
Yeah,
hold
the
of.
next.
So
My favorite thing out of all of these two here is the fact that you get the visor helmet in black.
yeah, isn't that cool?
Yep.
I love
And
that.
it's one of those, like, here, let me touch on the classics real quick. Let me
Mm-hmm.
remind you of what we don't do anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, they're back now, but yeah, they got rid of them for a long time. This was also after Johnny Thunder had his debut and time in the spotlight, and so the gems you get in this treasure chest were a little more valuable than they are today. Now they're kind of a dime a dozen, but at the time, seeing a treasure chest full of gems was kind of cool. So that was
One
new.
time I went to a show in Florida. It was a small show,
Yeah,
and people were selling parts, and they had a little bag of the red rubies,
yeah,
and I think there was like 300 of them in there.
yeah.
I got it for $1.
Yep. They were on the brick wall at our Lego store. I scooped a whole can of them for like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I've got
a couple bucks.
way too many of the jewels.
But it's that nostalgia draw, like when you first saw him holding that ruby on the cover of that magazine, and you're like, damn, I want one of those.
Oh yeah, of
So I
course.
got a scoop of them now. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Let's
Yeah,
see,
and
Nerf Herder. Go ahead. Sorry.
this looking at these two. Here's my problem with these.
Yeah.
If you'll notice the 4 by I think 12
Mm-hmm.
green block brick
Yeah. Yeah.
under the one set,
Yeah.
and then you get the gray one.
Oh, sure.
You
Yeah,
got
I see
that,
that. Yeah.
like you just so clunky.
Just stop.
Just
Yeah.
yeah, it's too much. It's
Can
too
we
much.
stop with that? Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. You know, and then there's the weird little column wall piece there, as pretty much. I guess that's supposed to be like a little jail. You throw the skeleton in or whatever.
yeah,
These are definitely,
it's called the dungeon, and it's like sitting out in a field.
yeah. These are definitely like collector show kind of flashy little like. Look, you get a cool item in each one of these. Don't look at the build too much because
Yeah, you buy it because of the chrome piece.
absolutely. I think they knew that too. So they did. I mean, there's like what 12 pieces on these things. Like not
No,
anything to write home about for sure.
no.
But the parts are really cool, and the figs are good. I I know what you're talking about. How they're a little less colorful, a little more bleak. Again, is a good word. Grim or bleak is a good word to describe these guys. Um, but you know, printed pants for this time is nice, right? Armor on both of these. I really like the leather straps or the leather. I don't know what you call it, tunic coming down on the guys on this guy's pants here. I like that print a lot. So it's cool to get that at least, you know. And these minifigs are pretty highly produced still for the time. I mean, I don't recall a whole lot of leg printing before this. We're coming off of Fright Nights and Royal Knights. None of those had leg printing.
Yeah, well, and here's another issue that I have just right off rip.
Yeah,
Looking at this catapult over here, all the castles are made with the grays.
yeah,
So what they're selling me is a stone
yeah.
catapult
Just
rolling on wooden wheels
yeah.
with
Good
either
luck.
a metal or a stone bucket
Yeah, shooting a iron ball because it's black.
shooting iron ball.
Yeah, don't think too hard about it, man.
Well, it's just the colors are all wrong. It's all
Yeah,
wrong.
the colors are screwball for sure.
Whoever
Let me.
designed this run was not good at their job. They were not good.
Well, and this is indicative of the time. I mean, like I don't think any of us
Oh,
really argue
yeah. I
that.
mean, I'm sure the designer that designed this in that time designed other things that were also shit.
Yeah. Well, potentially. I wouldn't. I don't know the designer. I don't know what else they were involved in. Usually, it's a team of people, but we can say that if you look at other sets surrounding this time era, not a lot of good stuff coming out of this. So, and similar designs, you know, clunky parts, weird color choices, things that they didn't make sense. We're losing our consistency in the storytelling a little bit. We're losing our functionality. You know how I harp on Ice Planet with the hot weapons and the hot the heated domes and the
Hmm.
modularity of the space police and everything you see makes sense. There's a reason for the little details they add. We're losing it here, and we lose it going forward a little bit more
Oh
into
yeah.
the 2000s. So yeah, you see that here kind of taking shape. Here we go. Yeah, someone in the comments mentioned there was not a dragon for this theme, and I would have almost agreed, except for that I remembered Cedric was writing a token dragon just for this exclusive series for that helmet. But yeah, here it is. So you got the chromed Dragon Master's helmet, which I would absolutely love to get a hold of, and that
Yeah,
chrome shield.
I need to get a hold of that helmet for sure.
Yeah, definitely,
Just
definitely.
at least one.
These were like $5, I think. I don't know if someone's dropped the prices for these yet. They were like $5 or $6, and they were loaded up. I mean, you get the Black Dragon, which is cool. You know, it's a reference to the Frank Knights coming out here, and then obviously the chrome pieces are choice. But you also, well, the ones that don't have a larger thing have two minifigs in each one. Actually, they all, if you count the skeleton, every single one has two minifigs for $5 or $6. Like, these are nice sets to get a hold of. Are they designed well? Not really. Are the colors all screwball? Yes, but again, I'm looking at the chrome parts and the figs for these. That's
Okay,
really what
so
you go
if
for.
we go from here, okay, so
Yes.
we're looking at these two bull sets, these little,
Yeah.
you know, the axe cart here and the fire attack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we jump back over here to these two, and I'm immediately lost.
Yeah. Well, these aren't very consistent with the rest of the theme, is what you're
No,
saying. Yeah.
no, they're not
They,
consistent with the other theme. They've thrown in the horns, and I
mm-hmm.
feel like they visited the Islanders.
Yeah. Stole their.
It's not a bull horn, okay?
Yeah. Sure.
You know, if it was going to be a bullhorn, they should have made them in black or like a brown or something like that. A brown
Ooh.
in that piece would have been so versatile
That would
amongst
have been.
many things. But with it still being white,
Yeah.
it's
Doesn't make a lot of
it has
sense.
zero value. That
I
part has
get that.
zero value.
Wouldn't that have been cool? A brown sprue with these horns on it, huh?
No, that'd be sick. Think
That
about
would
all
have
the
been sick.
applications you could use as far as like a forest.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be a mini bow.
Yeah, you could have clipped it on and make like a crossbow build. You could have used it for branches and sticks. You
So
could have
many
used it
things.
for
So many
obviously
things.
the decoration on helmets.
Not
You
in
know,
white.
builds. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're back to like you said, the Islanders with the white horns. I'm gonna read Nerf Herder. No GWP Newcastle. Exiting my dark age. I've been tempted, but my adult Lego budget has gone trying to get a lot of the vintage stuff. Yeah, see, that's the thing. When you're getting back into it and you see the stuff we talk about and a lot of other things, or the stuff you remember when you got out of it 30 years ago, you're going to be drawn to that instantly before you look at the new stuff. That's exactly what happened to me, too. Um, Not that I had the same type of dark age, but as soon as I looked at these old sets. I'm like, I'm not spending on stuff that's current because it's trash. I'm buying the old Black Knight stuff. I'm buying the stuff that I like. So I get that. I had almost everything in that Nautica episode with boxes. Dang.
That's lucky.
That's cool, man. I didn't have much of that at all, and I only have a couple of those sets now. Um, Yeah, so there you go. I think that was the comment I really wanted to touch on. He was answering you with hasn't got into Castle yet. He's going back and getting the stuff he cared about when he was younger. So that's cool though. I say he. I don't know. I assume, but they I should say. Let's see. Brickativity. There's only one of those chrome helmets on Bricklink Canada for $32. Yeah, that sounds right.
All right.
Oh man. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
like
so
that
these.
from
Oh, go
Canada.
ahead. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off there.
I don't order from Canada.
You'll order it from Canada.
Oh, I won't.
Oh, you won't. Yeah. $35. Yeah, I mean, I would maybe drop 25, $35 if I could get it from here, but in good condition. That's a lot though, man. But it's kind of you're not trying to. That's the kind of part you're not going to be trying to army build with. You
It
just want
might be
one.
it might be easier, honestly, to just find these sets.
You know, that's the
Doesn't that
thing.
Chrome Dragon helmet come in one of those ninja sets too?
It's Chrome Gold comes in not the Ninja set. It comes in the Orient Expedition Dragon Temple set. So that one's not cheaper. If you're going for the set, that's going to be more expensive. But one of these smaller sets, maybe. I mean, these are probably $100
A
though.
gold one and a silver one?
Yeah, they have a gold chrome and a silver chrome.
That'd be badass, man.
You need them both to go in your armory or somewhere, right?
You really do. You really do, man. It's unfortunate, but yeah.
Arto says bull knights have a very strange faces with gray eyes. That's a good point.
Yeah, they look stupid.
They look kind of dead.
They look
Gray
dumb.
eyes. Gray eyes is a weird choice.
This little guy with the pointed football helmet over
I
here.
hate that guy.
I hate that guy.
You want to know his name?
I have.
His name is Weasel.
I don't care.
Well, it just adds to the hatred.
It does. I absolutely hate the character. I hate.
I don't like his head.
Face print.
I don't mind the guy with the eye patch. He actually makes a good alternative pirate sometimes. Cedric Bowl is fine. He's got a bushy. He looks a little bit like, you know, those bushy Dragon Master guys. Maybe there's some connection or bloodline there. But like the little weasel dude, I hate that guy. He's got squinty eyes. I don't know. He's just something's wrong with that head. Print.
Very weird.
Mad cow. Yeah, he's got a mad cow. That guy's got mad cow disease.
I don't like the translucent orange dragon wings either. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, those were made popular. Those were actually made popular on the ninja theme we talked about last week.
I don't like them.
Didn't the Bright Knights have them too? Or were they black and red? Can't remember. I thought the Fright Knights might have had transparent dragon wings, but
they might have.
It might have. Anyway, it's not as good as the classic green dragon with the red wings. Nothing beats that.
All right, let's move on here.
I'm reading comments. These people getting wild in the comments out here.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're getting into some of the actual official release. Worthy to mention, the four we saw, those four collectors, they came out towards the end of the wave, and they were a little off the cuff. They didn't quite jive with the rest of the theme. You can tell even just here how different they look. So, yeah. So let's get back into these ones here. We got
King Leo with no cape, no barding.
Yeah,
that's great.
Basic, just a basic boy.
They gave you the little corner turret tower thing.
Yeah.
With the crenellations on top that I would never do in that format. Just absolutely shit build. Just why even add it?
Yeah, I wouldn't have added it. It would have actually been a better set without that piece. Yeah, I can envision it right now looking at it with that gone. It's a nice little set.
Yeah, it's just a couple minutes worse.
Yeah, it's a nice little minifig set. Kind of like, the king from the Royal Knights. He came in his own little box, had a little red saddle. Kind of similar to that, but
as far as the catapult crusher, it's a little bit better than the other catapult that we saw.
Yeah.
I don't like the red dragon head in there with the white horns. I hate it.
Yeah, it's a bit forced. They're trying to force the bull thing, but they're just retrofitting Dragon Master stuff. I get that. They're also using the dragon pole arm there, the big halberd, and then the helmet. I do like the torso prints on these bull guys, though.
I mean, some of them are okay, but they're literally using parts from like 4 other factions.
Yeah.
There's nothing original about it.
And the lore doesn't really cover that. So what I would say is it does feel like they came upon, because they're outlaws, they're kind of dark forest dwellers. They came upon potentially some of the Dragon Master's ruins and just looted the heck out of them, and retrofitted their armor and stuff. So they're kind of scrappy. So, but again, that doesn't translate. It doesn't translate super well, and I don't think it would translate well even on purpose, if that makes sense. Like if Lego decided to make a scrappy outlaw band that was retrofitting old faction parts and stuff, I just don't think that would work well, and it doesn't work super well here either. I get that. I do like the shape of the catapult. I think the catapult itself looks okay.
It's okay.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it too much.
6094 guarded treasure.
Yeah.
We've already had one person comment about the clunky green plates.
Yeah, the Y2K plates.
Yeah, the masonry lion head in tan makes absolutely no sense at all.
I mean, it makes sense if it was sandstone, but it doesn't blend with the rest of the colors.
So it doesn't match.
Yeah, it's interesting because it first came out in tan, and you could only get it in tan for a long time.
Well, thankfully
Um,
it came out in gray, and then it came out
yes,
light bluish gray
yes.
because I have about 35 of them on my castle.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, for sure. I love the part. I don't think we have any issues with the part.
I don't have any issues with the part. As a matter of fact, I'd like to see it in dark bluish gray. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Tan, I mean, I suppose it has its purpose and it can be used, but on this set, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with that. Really cool part. Probably one of the best things this theme brought to Lego was this new mold because it's very, very cool. Um, it's a nice detailed mold. It's a solid mold. So I do enjoy the mold itself, but color wise, yeah, I guess they were trying to add this tan highlight to some of their stuff, and it kind of was just like why?
You can't use tan as an additional color if you're going to just do it with that.
Yeah.
And then I think those headlight bricks over there on the other piece are tan.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're using it as accent, and there's a tan arch on the window in the back.
I've
So I
seen
guess they're,
I've seen a dark bluish gray castle with light gray and tan mixed,
yeah.
and it does look good if it's done right.
Hmm.
But in
So
this clunky style, it's very difficult to use the three colors.
sure, I feel that. I get that. I don't, I don't hate it, but because I understand the attempt what they were doing with it, but it's just it's not quite there. This, and I think these are the things that bugged us when we got these as kids and started looking at them, and we were trying to get back into Castle, but it just wasn't hitting quite right.
No,
Again, this is very. You got the clunky plates like you mentioned already. The set is minimal pieces, minimal. I mean, a big door along the back of the jail piece, big battlement crenellation piece along the top, a big tower with the big roof pieces on it. There's not a lot of parts in this set. It's very basic. It's very juniorized, if you really
it is
think about it.
almost they're almost like junior sets.
Almost all of them, yeah, they have a junior feel
Yeah,
to them, which is again, this is what they were doing. People weren't, they were trying to market to people that didn't want to build, which is insane. They were a building toy, but they were trying to gather more audience with less building and minimal parts, and it didn't work.
yeah, that was a mistake, as you will see now, because we're getting sets on a regular basis that are higher than 2,500 pieces.
Yeah, yeah, and it's booming. Lego's making more money than they ever have.
Yeah, I mean, if you sit down and build a Lego set and you're done in 30 minutes, you've done nothing. But you sit down for 15 hours and build like the Disney castle or like, the Titanic or
Hmm.
whatever, you're sitting down for days. You feel like you've accomplished something and it's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Even though you are following along an instruction, you've accomplished something. There was no feeling of that at all. It was just kind of like, oh, like it's like playing in the sandbox.
Well, and then
Not really anything special about it.
on the reverse of that, you don't have much to display. You don't have much to build a kingdom with.
No.
It's a facade of Lego Castle at best. There's no guarded in. There's no Black Knight's castle. There's nothing here that like really feels like you've accomplished. Again, like you said, accomplished building, but also just nothing here that really feels like you can create a castle world with this stuff. Yes, if you collected all the sets, you kind of have a bit of a display, but it's not. There's no substance. It's lacking substance. Yeah, it's a bit hollow.
All right, let's move on. Bullets Attack.
Yeah, I actually got this recently.
I have this set now, currently.
It's kind of cool.
It's kind of no, not really.
Yeah.
They have like there's like a truck in the background. There's
the siege tower you're talking.
there's there's a catapult and target. You got okay. So here's how dumb they are. Okay,
Yeah.
you whip up with this projectile.
Yeah.
You shoot the projectile at the target to shoot the catapult.
Yeah, I was never sure about it. Even as a kid looking at this, like, what are they practicing? But then
No,
it shoots
they're attacking their own thing. That's because they're idiots. The Bulls are idiots. They are the most retarded faction. to ever come out.
They're kind of just like they're just on mead. They're just drinking too much mead, running around like shooting their own stuff. It's just a weird system. Yeah, it doesn't translate well. Again, like there's not a lot of reason behind it. Um, it's kind of strange. The siege tower, the truck siege tower with the big clunky Duplo battering ram on it. The little cage inside is actually kind of nice. You can slide those little Technic bars out and pull the cage out, and they have one of the knights from King Leo's faction, the lion guys, is a prisoner inside the cage inside that thing. But the whole concept, it doesn't look like a siege tower. It's too wide at the bottom. There's too many wheels on it. Like it's not shaped correctly. You couldn't even put it adjacent to the wall it's supposed to be attacking, King Leo's castle. Like it doesn't work well for that. So it's its own purpose. Again, like you said, they're kind of dorks. The purpose of their equipment isn't even functional. Like it doesn't do what it ought to be doing. So
and Weasel's over here shooting his own equipment.
yeah, Weasel. But that makes sense though. Weasel, get out of here. Yeah, well, and I think that cannon originally, if you look at the design of where it's mounted, it's supposed to be a ballista. It's just so badly built that it doesn't look like a ballista.
No,
But
it looks like a small tank that shoots a missile.
It does. It looks like there should be like a little
shoot a catapult.
A little creature in there driving it around.
This is where this right here is where they were trying to make Lego an action toy.
Yeah. Focus on the action.
The action was building.
Right.
Okay, so it was a complete miss.
Yeah.
You know, you want something that's got projectiles, go buy the G.I. Joes, dude. Lego's not your thing.
Yeah, I don't like it. Well, and this ultimately translated into flick fire missiles and then spring things they got now, and I hate all of it.
Oh yeah.
I don't like any of it.
Disappointment, majorly.
I didn't even what was that?
They're all a disappointment. All those flick fire.
I don't like them. I didn't even like the firing cannons, to be honest, from the old ships. Like I don't like Lego projectiles in any form. They annoy me a lot.
Well, you tend to lose pieces that way.
Yeah, it's like a play function, but it's the laziest play function you could imagine.
Yeah.
And they advertise it like, look at you can do this, and it's like, yeah, you lose parts. Like, you shoot these things at the cat gets mad, scratches your face, whatever. It's just a bad situation all around. Retro Space Coast, one of these is go.
I hate looking at the set. I just thought
I like the cloth flag. I like the cloth flag. That's about It's cool. This is a set I got for my birthday. And it was kind of
awful, but overall, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
A lot of people really like the stained glass piece. Yeah. And honestly, I've got like handfuls of those, and I haven't used one ever because
So
I don't like the way that I don't like the piece that it's on. I don't like that it sits in the piece that swivels.
Sure.
So many things, but I would rather a stained glass piece be printed on the glass, like the trans piece, right, and then plucked into a window frame.
Yeah.
Okay, it's done.
Yeah, it didn't need to be on the rotating wall secret panel thing.
That kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah, I think it can be used well. I haven't attempted too much on mocks with it. I do like the design of the actual panel itself. Like the art on it is nice.
The art on it is great. I just don't like how it's implemented.
Yeah, because a lot of those, they have the hollow on those door frames. They have the hollow sides too, so it can only really face one direction. And I get what you're saying. It's not a great setting for that piece. It's a nice piece, but it doesn't set super well in builds. I wanted to read Mirko said, I think he was talking about the Cedric Bowl attack. Was the set as a kid reminded me of a football practice session.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like.
Kind of what's going on. It's got that energy. Retro said one of them with unopened bags complete is selling for £90 on eBay. So that's not a bad price. The parts are actually not bad. Minifigs and parts you get in it, you get a cloth flag. Like, there's some good parts in that set we just looked at. But, as a full build, it's not super impressive.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Um,
This one overall, again, we got those tan lion heads,
yeah,
misplaced, I think. Clunky bricks as the
yeah,
bases.
big fat bricks on the base there. Yeah.
Nothing really special about that barding. What's the chemical you use to rub that off and have a gray one?
Oh, I don't remember, but yeah, you could strip them and have the light gray bardings.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's not a great design.
not a great design. I mean,
It,
to be honest with you, what was it? Was it in Kingdoms? The Kingdoms
mm,
Joust, best
yeah,
joust that ever to be released by Lego. The
yeah,
second best is the Knights Challenge, which is like a 1990-91 set.
or even earlier. Yeah,
And I would
I think you're
honestly take the Knights Joust from the Yellow Castle era before I would take this.
sure. Yeah, well, the figs from the old Yellow Castle era one are pretty nice. It's and doesn't the old does that joust from that era come with one of those trees?
Yes, I think so.
The spruce tree or whatever it's called.
Yeah, or Cypress.
Cypress, yeah, that one. I thought it did. So yeah, you're gonna be
It could be.
intense. Intense Bricks is jumping in. Good evening, everyone.
Hey man, I'm only gonna be here for like 10 minutes, but you can always rewatch. We just kind of shit all over this. I'm not sure if you're into that
We
kind of thing or not.
we were just talking about your Brick Monarch Shop shield display before we jumped on here live.
Yeah,
Got a lot of nice shields in your
yeah. If you
Lego
guys
room.
are intense, go follow him. He's currently building a dwarf
Mountain
old
Fortress.
mountain thing in his
Yeah,
thing. It's pretty cool.
yeah, it's good stuff. Check him out on Instagram. Check him out on. I don't know if he's got YouTube, but he's on Instagram.
Yeah.
Intense Bricks. Check him out. Shout out. Yeah, so I got this for my birthday. This was the first set I got of this theme, and I liked it quite a bit because it had that visored helmet. At the time, I didn't have many, so this was big for me to get a, a visored helmet like that. The barding was cool. It wasn't my favorite, but it was cool to have a barding. I'm glad the theme has a barding. It's better than no barding, I think. We'll also talk about the misprint on the instruction. It shows 2 treasure chests at the top of the hill, and there's only one in the set, which is kind of funny. So that's a misprint on the instruction book there.
Well, that's false advertisement.
What was that?
Somebody didn't Photoshop that, right?
Oh yeah, they didn't do the. Yeah, it got repeated there. That's pretty funny.
On one of them too, they were extremely lazy, and I can't remember which one it is, but there's another Photoshop issue with one of the images as well. And I can't remember
On this one.
Yeah, on this theme, yeah.
On this theme, yeah. Huh.
So they were
Yeah.
just all across the board. Everybody sucked at the company.
I guess they were just kind of being sloppy. Not really.
Yeah, they were very sloppy. They were losing money. They didn't know what they were doing. They were all about to lose their job.
Well, they actually, a lot of them were because this is right before it just dives, and a lot of people, the company went almost. This is right before or near or even the start of the bankrupt era of Lego. So this is, that take that for what it is. You can kind of see partially why that was going that direction. It's not all bad. There was a couple scenes where it looked like they were still utilizing some physical props or things that at least looked physical. I like the cut parchment edge of this. I think that's kind of a fun touch. So there are elements still, even in the art, that aren't terrible. They were doing kind of something there, which was nice to see, but it's not. Obviously, you're not going to look at this and then be like looking at Dragon Masters and be like, "Wow, Knights Kingdom's just so much cooler." Just,
never. Yeah, that would never happen.
You gotta as a company that sells these things, and you gotta keep one up in yourself as you move forward, not start making worse stuff. You got to be pushing the envelope and bringing some new things and really building nice designs, and not making all the stuff you made before look so much cooler. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. So here it is, King Leo's castle.
Yeah.
Sorry.
it's got a nice silhouette.
It does. It's reminiscent again, reminiscent of some of the old castles, the blue roofs. You know, he's got a little bit of a vibe there. It's got some dark gray wall panels, which is kind of nice. I think they don't come on that many sets, so that's cool. Yeah, it's fine. It's a castle. But again, this is where they stopped making sense because the back of this castle is a big banner, and there's no like not a whole lot of wall going on. And as a kid looking at this, I was like, what's going on there? Like, why is the
I
back of the castle open?
I
Like,
was not sure what it was because I have this.
yeah,
I have that big sail. I thought it was
yes,
sail. I'm like, where the hell does this even go?
yeah. Like, what medieval boat am I missing that I've never
Yeah,
seen?
I was like, and you can see it. It's in the door hole there,
Yeah,
and I guess it probably was like hanging in there.
it hung from the classic little ball peg pieces, right? That the sails would clip to back then.
Yeah, so
Yeah. So
it was kind of
it
like this was the back wall.
that's exactly. I was gonna say it. This big banner serves for the back wall of the castle, which just really bugged me a lot as a
Wasn't it
kid.
white
Like
too?
it's blue and white striped. Yeah,
But
so it doesn't even fit the colors.
the overall thing was white, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, it makes no sense at all.
Yeah, it's not great. Now the king on the horse with the barding, the shield, the helmet, or the chrome and sword and sheet and helmet crown coming out of the front of the castle here looks pretty nice. That's kind of a good like once you get it all put together, he looks okay.
You want to talk about
Again,
a drawbridge being steep? Who was that that said this last week?
what's going on there, yo?
Look at that damn thing.
That's like a nightmare bridge, like you dream about trying to
Yeah,
walk up or
that horse
something.
is gonna walk up there and fall right on its face.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know. Like, I think it's jewels, gems, and jewels are the currency. I don't think they had any other treasure in this theme. I could be wrong, but I think that's all it was in the treasure boxes. Were the little jewels, the little gems, the cut gems from Johnny Thunder era. Now here is a cannon. This thing is a cannon. The thing out in front here,
Yeah, that's no
that's
good.
straight up. They're not pretending with that. They're not trying to
Yeah.
disguise it as anything. It's like
Here's the bull's mini tank.
yeah, here's our mini tank. We're driving up here. So this bleeds over this problem. I'm going to bring up a problem with this theme again. This is what made Knight's Kingdom 2 even worse than it already was because you had horrible designs, horrible molds, you had horrible colors, and this is a linchpin of the trash that was Knight's Kingdom 2. And it started here. And this is the problem I have with some licensed themes as well. But everyone in this set and everyone shown in all of these sets, they are named characters. There are no foot soldiers, there are no men at arms, there are no knights. These are all characters in a big story of Lego Castle, if you will. So, you got a big problem there if you wanted to build an army, you know, if you wanted to.
Isn't the knight too a woman? The one who wears a black visor?
That's a princess.
No, it's not.
Yes. Well, she's supposed to be a princess. I'll get into that real quick. But my point being, and then going into Knight's Kingdom, it wasn't until later in Knight's Kingdom that you had soldiers on the good guys team. Now the bad guys had shadow soldiers or shadow knights or something that were just generic knights. But that's a problem, and that's a problem with Lord of the Rings, right? The Lord of the Rings series and some other series is you got so many of these named characters that it cut out almost all Rohan soldiers or all of these other factions you would like to add to your display, right? You didn't get those characters because they were taken up. All the slots were taken by named characters, and that's what happened here. Everyone on this poster right here is a named character, so there are no, there's no little archers up there or foot soldiers or anything going on.
Yeah.
Um,
So prior to like the Royal Knight's castle, which we had the king, right? That was
yeah,
the first king, which was like
yeah,
this is the king.
yeah.
I don't know that his name was ever given like per se, like one way or the other. Like this is King Leo. This is very prominent. This is King Leo.
Yeah,
right? But prior to that, you had a plethora of knights and foot soldiers in every castle set from the beginning.
absolutely.
So you
100%.
have multiple sets and just have just a shit ton of archers on the rampart, or ground knights, or horseback knights, cavalry, halberd knights, carrying spears, swords, whatever. And it was
Yep.
very easy. Like you could do that very easily with the Lion Knights, the Falcons, the
Yep.
Black Knights, the Wolf Pack.
All of them. Yeah.
I mean, even Dragon Masters. I mean, aside from Mephisto, you know.
Yeah, and again, there were some named characters. I mean, there was the Black Knight, there was Rob N. Hood, there was Magisto, there was Willow the Witch, right? But they were one-offs. Maybe there were two in a theme or two in a faction that had a name or a hint to a name.
But then
But
the
other
rest,
than that, they were generic dudes, generic knights, generic guys you could fill your castle with and defend the walls and have epic battles and like so. To your point, yeah, that's a up until now. And this is when this kind of shifted over. And to my point, it bled heavily over into Knights Kingdom 2, the Jelly Bean era, and all of those things, and really cut that theme off at its feet, I feel like.
yeah,
One of many issues, obviously, the design and all the other stuff for that going forward was bad. But this is where it kind of started. Now, we have a couple comments. Nerf Herder says oil slide defense for the drawbridge. That's pretty funny. Ask for Bricks and Giggles about it. This is about this set. LOL. I think this. She loves this one. Jose says I saw Stacy last week. I should have. Oh, at the brick convention over there. I should have asked her about this castle. I don't hate the castle even. Like I would
I,
like. I don't have this one. I have a ton of these random weird one-off castles. I don't have this one. I
I,
wouldn't mind having this. You hate it?
I hate it.
I don't hate it. I think there's enough in it that I find interesting and salvageable. For one, it was one of the last castles to be built on a raised base plate, so that's going for it. The base plate's kind of I don't mind the base plate. I think it's kind of cool looking. It's the same base plate as that one from the temple at Choose Temple from Johnny Thunder Jungle, with that
Yeah,
river going through the middle.
yeah. I mean,
That, that
that was actually a cool plate. Look at. I mean, they didn't even print it right. Why are
I
the
am.
rocks round? Why are they rounded
Uh,
on the one side?
I'm not. That might be a misprint
Or
of
why
the
is it
actual.
on the instructions?
It might be. I don't think. I was just looking at that. I don't think it's printed at a curve like that in real life.
It's ridiculous.
I hope it's not. If it's not, if it is, then yeah, that's a big,
There's
big
misprint.
negative.
There's colors that don't make sense. There's cannons. There's tanks. It's
Yeah, no, I
shoot.
get your despise for this. I definitely. Well, and also you see the treasure. If you shot that wall is on a hinge that you could launch the treasure out of the castle. Just dumb. It's just dumb. It's like it. That again bugged me as someone who grew up with all this Lego making a lot of sense. Right, their storylines made sense. The traps and the play features inside the set made sense. I then get this where it's the wall is a curtain and you could shoot the wall in the front to shoot the good guy's treasure into the bad guy's hands, and I'm like, what? That makes no sense to
No,
me. Like, I don't know why this is happening. So I like the cool skeleton though with the hat on. He's cool.
dude, you've got a skeleton. You can put a hat on any of them, and they're all the same.
I know.
That's not special to
It's
this.
still well.
You know,
So
the
he's
one thing
still
that's special to this, the only thing that this team gave us
okay.
was the chrome parts and a plethora of the chrome sword.
Oh, that's true. Lots of chrome swords.
Lots of chrome swords throughout this.
Oh, hang on. This castle has a couple more things I want to point out that are good about it. Maybe not. Maybe yes. The brown bird parrot. That's pretty sick. I like the brown one. Only comes on this set.
Okay.
The brown parrot. That's
Right.
I'm into those random yellow, black, and brown
Instead
parrots.
of being a 3, we'll give it a 4.
Okay, and then and then Queen, Queen Lenora. She's a great minifig. Like just as a generic castle princess, you get the black princess hat on her, the blue dress with the keys on her skirt, and that red robe. Phenomenal. One of the best minifigs that they ever made for Lego
I
Castle. I
have
think.
that minifig.
I do too. I have like 5 of them.
I only have one.
Maybe I have 3, 4. I think I have 4 of
And to
them.
be honest, I'm not sure where she's at.
She's hanging out somewhere. Anyway, I'm just saying, good minifig there, I think. So that she only came on this castle, and then there was like a weird blacksmith set that she kind of came on as well, I think. Um, so I'll give it a little bit of credit for having some cool stuff in it. I don't know. I still want the castle. If you guys have one and you don't like it, you can send it to me. Thank you.
It's a shame that they use this awesome background art for this theme.
It is,
There's
yeah.
been so
It's
many other
got,
things put in this world that would just hit just right.
yeah.
And
And it's
then,
nice. It's got the rocks. It's got the river.
yeah, I love it. I love this
It's,
background. I mean, y'all don't understand. I'm consistently looking for backgrounds to use for my builds and whatnot.
yeah.
And even building something out like that in Photoshop is such a pain in the ass.
It's
You have
not
no
easy.
idea.
Yeah. It's very difficult, and this is very nice art. It looks really nice. It's a good painting. The sky is cool. They did a good job with the sky. Yeah, it's nice. Um, let's see here. I was gonna pull a couple comments. Best part about this set is that Black Maiden's hat. That is cool that she comes with a black one of those. That's pretty nice. I feel bad for the generation that started their Lego experience during these years. Laura Mipsum says that.
Well, yeah, they probably
Um,
didn't stay very long.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Intense says he does like the box art from this series. Yeah, I think we just went over that. I agree with that for sure. So, yeah, so that's about it. I mean, King Leo, Queen Lenora, Princess Storm, Sir Richard the Strong, Sir John of Maine, Cedric the Bull, Gilbert the Bad, and Weasel. Those were the named characters. Princess Storm and Richard the Strong had a love affair in the storyline. He trained her against King Leo's will to become a knight, and that's part of that story. Cedric is the leader of the Bulls, a group of knights who form their headquarters in the dark forest surrounding Leo's castle. Cedric's most trusted minions include Weasel, the expert on traps, and Gilbert the Bad, a siege engineer. Clearly, the siege engineer had some problems because he engineered some crap.
He did.
In the storybook, Cedric is joined by a former Lion Guard, Boris, who had been banished for attempting to steal Leo's crown. Okay, that's kind of fun. I didn't know that. And then Cedric is the 13th son of a king whose lands were far away from King Leo's. Furthermore, when it came for the sons to receive their inheritance, all of the land fell to the other sons before Cedric got his share. His desire for Leo's land is thus explained. So he's been trying to take King Leo's land and castle for a long time. And that's so he's kind of a disinherited son who created a band of outlaws who live in the dark forest around King Leo's
There's
castle.
always a problem with the second born.
What was that?
Always a problem with the second born.
Yeah, yeah. Or the 13th born.
Yeah.
That's what they were saying on this. He was the 13th son, which I guess he was the unlucky number of, right? So he didn't get any of the
He's
land.
lucky to be a duke somewhere.
Yeah. He is a duke. He's a straight up duke.
Yeah, dukey and
What
underpants.
a what yeah, anyway, so that's kind of a little lore I thought I'd throw in there. There was some storybooks. There was actually a Knights Kingdom creator video game I played a little bit of, and then they showed up like Nerf Herder mentioned earlier in the comments. They showed up as a full island you could explore in Lego Island 2, one of the areas you could check out in that game. So they were featured in Lego media as well as, or as much as any other Lego theme during the time. So Ivan just purchased a Magisto membership from us. We appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. I haven't seen them drop comments, so they must be just watching from afar. Appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, we appreciate you here, and we appreciate the subscription. Feel free to drop comments if you want to be part of the conversation. And that's it. Yeah, we didn't have a ton to say that was super positive about this theme. It's better than what came after it, and maybe that's its saving grace.
After looking at this again, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 overall.
Yeah. I think the ninja stuff that we talked about that you gave a 7 or 8, I think a 7. You look at those designs and you look at these, and the ninja stuff is so much better, even though
It is. It is better, but
it's
it's
not the same, but it's just design wise, it's better. So lorem ipsum, 4 out of 10. I mean, yeah, it is the out of all the themes up until they killed Castle for a couple years and then jumped into Knight's Kingdom 2. So the Yellow Knights all the way through to Knight's Kingdom 1. It is the weakest. It's the weakest out of all of them. So I do agree that it's definitely not the best. So Intense says absolutely agree. It was better than what came after, but that was the low point of Castle. Yeah, exactly. It's like Fright Nights was kind of teetering on the edge. Then you got this a couple years later, and then it just died. And so, you know, I still consider it in that wave of whenever the first Lego Castle was. What was the 70s? The Yellow Castle, 81, 70 something, all the way to 2000.
yeah,
And
79,
then,
I think.
yeah, and then we cut it off here. And then everything that came after we can talk about as modern Lego Castle, I would say, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, that's it on this here. I do not have a topic for next week. However, we do have another round of pirates that includes the Spanish Armada. So we might jump into that. I would also like to circle back around and hit up some classic town as well. I know you want to talk about the commercials. I'm aware of the commercials.
That lorem ipsum, yeah, lorem ipsum.
Figure out how to put that together and have service, not have issues. There's lots of factors in that when you're live. So we will do that.
That being said, I'll just say this: you dropped the secret talks that we're going to be having for subscribers. Is that going to be for subscribers only, members only, or are we just going to do that for everybody?
I think we're going to do it for everybody.
Okay. Or early release for members and then drop it, or no? Because we'll do it live still, so we
Yeah,
have to
we're going to do it live
everyone.
because we have to have people. We have to have people in here to hear us bitching.
Yeah. Got it. So those will be kind of the rated R conversations where we just kind of go off the rails on these. Let's see. I did want to say, speaking of commercials, in that same vein, we were potentially talking about doing a big show based on the prototype images that are all over the internet. So that is kind of in the same vein as that. The prototype talk might be coming soon, or at least in the future.
Oh yeah.
And then I think we should go back to. We could potentially do an ideas book one of all the cool images in those ideas books.
Yeah.
We haven't done that yet. And then we did the mini books and stuff, so we could maybe jump back into a mini book talk too. So there's still some good content in there that aren't specific theme related stuff. Sundays, right?
Ooh.
He says lorem ipsum for that 5th talk.
I like Mirko's suggestion for model team.
Oh, yeah, that one I didn't put on the list. I forgot about that one.
Classic model team sets that are banging.
There's some cool stuff they did. They were pushing. That is a theme that they were kind of pushing the envelope on.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Yeah, we still have Spaceport as well. We got quite a few actually still that are on the list. So we'll pick something for next week and we'll get on it. But that's it for tonight.
Ivan says, sorry, I'm not new. Been here since like the first 10-ish subs. Oh wow. So he's the OG there. Just wasn't here due to work and time in the last couple months. Okay. We'll be now regularly again, I promise. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just telling him I appreciate him being here.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Being a long time viewer, that's awesome. We appreciate that a lot. So yeah, I think he just got the Magisto tier, so that's why it popped up like that. So but yeah, appreciate it, man. Definitely. All the support we get, all the donations that you guys drop over the course of these videos, all of the subscriptions, they really help make us feel like we're doing something that people want to hear more of. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice to get that support from you
Helps us
guys.
continue.
It actually does. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it helps. It helps us multiple ways. So we appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. That's been an episode of Let's Talk About Lego.
Yeah. Thank you for joining, and
Yep.
we hope to see you again next week. I will try to get some kind of information out a little earlier about what the topic will be next week.
Sounds good. James Westman, back in my day, these were on Instagram. Okay, Grandpa. That's really funny. All right. Yeah, that's where we started. All right. That's it, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for joining.
Have a good week. Next Monday.
We'll be back here Monday. Yeah. Take it easy, guys.